Okay, before I get to number one, let me just talk about some honorable mentions. The Captain Marvel movie serials from 1941. The Good Captain was the first superhero to appear in movies, if you don't count Zorro or comic strip adaptations. He had a 12-part series named The Adventures of Captain Marvel that ran through 1941, a little over a year after he was first introduced in Wiz Comics issue 2 in 1940. Looking back, it's not that bad. I can see why people would enjoy it. Seeing the Captain fighting against oversized scorpions and such. It seems it was so well received that it helped sales of the comic book. Side note, I do find it funny that for the flying scenes, instead of wiring up the actor, they used a 7-foot long papier-mâché version of him instead. Batman and Superman Public Enemies from 2009. The Good Captain appears here, but it's mostly an extended cameo. We do get to see his power and cleverness. I also like the fact that he states that Superman is weak against magic here. Why do so many readers and writers of the character seem to forget that? Shazam and the New 52. First appearing in Justice League comic book as a backup feature in 2012 to 2013. At the time, I liked the story mostly because of the Gary Frank art. Inclusion of the other orphans and having them take major roles is good, but I didn't like the fact that they became the extended Marvel family. I didn't mind Billy's attitude too much in the series because he seemed like a realistic 15-year-old boy. My main issue with the series was that now Captain Marvel was no longer Captain Marvel, but was now named Shazam, as in after the wizard, as in the word that Billy has to say to transform and back. Good God, that's so stupid. From that point on, in all media, he would soon be known as only Shazam. Just imagine Stan Lee with Gary Frank creating Shazam in 2002. Hey, you want to see weird? Well then, let's just take a gander in the early 2000s when DC Comics gave Stan Lee a chance to reimagine certain DC characters in his own universe. So, what did his take on the Good Captain entail? Well, let's see, we get to see Merlin, Morgana, a trip to Nepal, a cult with a woman apparently doing her best David Bowie impersonation, assassins, and a big red beastie thing tagging along a big boobed woman. I have no words for this. The concept and execution of the story is bonkers. Then again, the entire Just Imagine line was crazy. I think Stan missed the point on what makes Billy Batson and Captain Marvel a great character in this issue. Also, Billy Batson isn't even Captain Marvel in the main story. I don't even think he's in that story at all. Wiz Comics issue 2. Might as well start with his very first appearance. Maybe I should do a review of it someday. It's only 15 pages long if you include the cover. The story gets straight to the point. It's the basis of every redo of his origin from the 1940s on. That said, while the original origin is interesting, it's not what I consider a very engaging comic. If I had a choice to reread the 1995 version of his origin or the 2012 for fun, I would, over rereading was issue number 2. The original origin is just a bit too dry and basic for me to want to go back and read it over again and again.